Can we start again?
Nope.
Okay. I know we haven't made a video in forever, and some people probably just fell off their chair to see anything from us, but words with friends. We wanted to get on here and say thank you to some people, to a bunch of people actually. I got a list. But first, we're going to let Alex say a couple of words, and then I'm kicking him out to get his shoes on because he has to go to school tonight.
Thank you.
What did you do yesterday?
That was a couple of words. Thank you.
What'd you do yesterday?
Ran a marathon.
A little 5K marathon?
No, that's not a marathon. That's a 5K.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a real marathon?
Far.
Like how far?
10 5Ks minus a couple of 5.
So in other words, how many miles?
A lot.
26.2. He finished. Hold up your bling. I've got my own bling I could show off. This is Alex's bling. He ran the San Francisco Marathon yesterday.
Yeah.
And finished it, standing up in one piece. He had a little bit of intestinal issues at about, for about 10 miles.
Yep.
But he persevered and he finished. And he didn't finish in the time that he wanted to, but I told him there's only 1% of the people in the country will even ever try to do a marathon, and then all of those people won't finish. So he needs to be very proud of what he accomplished. And at 19, who else would have gotten up and ran a marathon on their own a few months after having some major surgeries? And my dad passed away a couple of months ago, and graduated from college. How many people have all of these things happen in one 6-month period? Actually, not even that long, 4-month period. So I just want to let him know I'm proud of him. Wanted to thank everybody for all the support and messages and everything else that he's gotten. Do you want to thank them for that?
No, you got it. You're doing a good job. Keep talking. Thank you.
He doesn't think he's accomplished much this year. Yeah. Now, go get on your shoes and your socks and get ready for nursing school. Microbiology tonight. Prerequisites for nursing school. Bye. Wait, did you say goodbye?
Bye.
Ow. Ow. Yeah, that's the post-marathon sound. Ow. And we wanted to say thanks to Ray, who has been downhearted baby. He made a lasagna for Alex yesterday for after the marathon, and my phone died before we got home, or before we even left the city. So due to a little miscommunication between us, we didn't end up going there to get it. But I hope they enjoyed it. It sounds like Kelly, whose nut cheese, had some for breakfast. And speaking of Ray and Kelly and my dad passing away, my dad died on May 2nd. And he had a little dog named Benny, who, if you subscribe to Ray, you know who Benny is by now. He was a good little dog, but he needed so much more attention than I could give him. And I'm looking for a job, so I'm not going to be home, in the daytimes with him. So we thought about it and discussed it, and Ray went from being a suburb dog to a city dog. And he lives with, like I said, Ben Downhearted Baby and Nut Cheese now. And they're all getting along great, and we see pictures and videos almost every day, so it's almost like he didn't ever leave. So thank you to Ray and Kelly for welcoming him into your family so lovingly, and I'm so glad you guys have each other. And okay, off to my list. Well, let me back up a little bit. Like I said, my dad, I never gave everybody the story of how he passed away. He fell in our kitchen on April 19th, and we don't know if he was 92 years old, if he fell and caused a heart attack, or if he had a heart attack that caused the fall. They were never able to figure that out, and he never became conscious enough over the next 2 weeks that he survived to verbalize what was going on. He ended up with 5 or 6 different things going on, everything from a urinary tract infection. They thought he had a stroke. He was in renal failure, and he overcame each of those things. All of the tests ended up, everything turned around, but he never became conscious again. And his body was was wearing down and breaking down every day that he ended up being in the hospital any longer. So we did end up on May 2nd having to take him off a feeding tube, and he passed away a few hours later. So, but you know, he did live a long life. He had many children, and you know, there's still 5 of us surviving. So here, I was going to show you this. So we had his funeral on May 7th, and it confused some people because I also mentioned that we had a funeral for my sister. My sister passed away in January of 1999. So her cremains had never been buried. So we ended up burying hers with my mom's and my dad's. So all 3 of them were right together. So this is my sister that had passed away. And then that was my dad. So it ended up being a joint funeral. There was a lot of closure for many family members that hadn't had it before, and that was that. Speaking of the funeral, I wanted to say thank you. I never put a formal thank you out here, and just little things you keep putting aside and saying, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, and then before you know it, months have gone by, and I feel bad about that. But I wanted to say thank you to Beth, who is Silver Scream Girl. She sent us a lovely flower arrangement that was at the funeral, and then we brought it home, and it lasted here probably a good 3 weeks. And if you're curious about seeing it, I can't add a picture on the end of this, but I can send a link to the picture that I put up of it. We also, the day of the funeral, a huge box, a 4-pound box of candy showed up from 5 of our friends here online, and it's Barb, who's Wildheart5, Melissa, Susan, Imperceptible Me, Lori, who's Bella's mom, Judy, who's Mystery Glow, and Joni, who's Joan3424. Everybody enjoyed it. We had it sitting out, and you know, lots of family members had it, and then we had a couple of pounds left over that lasted for a couple of weeks. And thank you to all of you. We have another project going on called, we're calling it Project Kaelyn. My niece Crystal had a baby last year that had a birth defect, and she died the day that she was born. And at that point, her daughter, Kaelyn, had spent a lot of time around hospitals and stuff, and decided that she liked doing nice things for little kids. So she decided she's going to make bracelets, friendship bracelets, for the children in the hospital. So this is what they make them out of, little embroidery floss. And I have one friend it's embroidery floss stupid, but he helped take care of Kaelyn in a big way. So if anyone's interested in donating just one embroidery floss, if it's sitting in your sewing basket or whatever, let me know, and I'll get an address for you to mail it to. And I'm going to mail them all to her in one big package. Our friend Billy over at Billy CTV sent a nice donation, and I was able to find a package of 150 skeins. So this will make a lot of bracelets for the children in the hospital. I think this is going to have to be a 2-parter because we're at 8.5 minutes. So Billy, yes, I'm not going to show the front of this, but the back says, a smiling face makes the world a better place. And if that doesn't scream Billy CTV, nothing does. Let's see, 4 more things to talk about. I want to say thank you to everybody that sent cards. We received so many cards after my dad's passing, and yeah, each one was thoroughly appreciated, and I haven't had it in me to sit down and write a thank you letter to each person that sent one. So you know who you are. I truly appreciate it. Got a couple of postcards in the mail over the last couple of months. One was from Megan, Diana, Brian, Caitlin, and Gail, which are our Brown-Eyed Girls, Summer 9293, Bam Bam, Peachy 93, and Bug Lady, from when they went to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. And one from Sue, who's Sue Vlogs, and she used to be Latte Sue, from up in Vancouver. And I'm going to hit stop here, and I'll be right back for part 2.